That guy finally got me, in his blog, finally got me to realize what it is that I wanted to say. If we lived in a real gynocracy, we wouldn't hear about it from so many dudes. Period. So goddamn always. I don't know what drug these guys have ingested. Our society punishes men who perform femininity and rewards women financially when they do masculinity. And even though they may face some adversity taking over traditionally male jobs, they are basically allowed to do so. Now, in saying that, I'm not issuing an opinion either way. This is just a point being raised rhetorically. But you have women taking over the military-industrial complex, and this mentality from Democrats is that it's basically all okay so long as it's women in charge of Lockheed Martin making the bombs we're dropping on those assholes over there overseas. And meanwhile, all of this is going on, and they're basically saying it's a genocentric culture. What? You know, our society in the USA is incredibly violent. We have a fondness for political assassinations. We've had our hand in the cookie jar for years doing shit like at least funneling money to the Pinochet regime, at least initially over in Chile, just to save face out of international embarrassment. We're just getting out of Iraq and Afghanistan, and the manufacturers of U.S. weapons are largely being carried out with women at the top of Lockheed Martin. And we sit here arguing over whether it's a gynocentric culture. Obviously, it could not possibly be a gynocentric culture. Like a what, dude? A true gynocentric culture, if it were to actually be one. And for those of you who do not understand the rhetoric that I'm basically putting forward, is basically the political supremacy of women. If we lived in a true gynocracy, masculine work would not be a major priority regardless of which sex we're doing it. It wouldn't be a priority for women to take over men's work. It would be a priority to do women's work. Sorry, dudes. Your jobs would not be considered a major priority for our society at all. It doesn't matter which sex we're for doing it, so the military industrial complex would crumble like a house of cards. Nobody would be doing the military industrial work, man or woman. You know, it'd be celebrating a gynocentric culture would be glorifying anti-war women instead of doing what ours do, which is what ours does, which is accusing them of lacking patriotism. Also, teachers would be fucking millionaires because we'd pay them like royalty. Traditionally, women's work would be seen as far more valuable than men's work, which would be paid pennies on the dollar compared to what it's being paid now. Nurses' salaries would skyrocket too, and would be rewarding men financially for doing women's work. The complete opposite of what ours does. We'd be encouraging them in that direction. You don't live in a gynocentric culture. You're just a bitter, delusional man looking to blame someone else for problems that you yourself created for yourself. You're delusional.